When you see stories like this, it is painfully clear that many of these politicians are only in office for people that look like them exclusively. They are not there for all the people at all. And ladies and gentlemen, it's very telling on why the Black community has not seen any good results in all of this time. You have many of these people that are very covert in their racism, but their intention is the same as we have seen all across the board in America. Do as much as they can for people that look like them, and for the people that don't look like them, do nothing. Sit in office, go shake their hand and eat some chicken dinners with them, but ultimately do nothing for them. This came out February 27th, 2019 in Atlanta. Black Star, Maryland lawmaker apologized after calling majority Black county a nigger district. And these slip ups, ladies and gentlemen, aren't slip ups at all. This is how they talk when we're not around. And the stupid ones among them will let the cat out the bag every single time. A white lawmaker in Maryland has apologized for using a racial slur to describe a majority Black county in suburban Washington, D.C., but her apology rang hollow for many. You know, we're tired of these apologies. I'm serious, y'all. We are sick of these apologies. We are sick of these lame ass apologies, and we know your apologies don't mean nothing. We know it. There's nothing behind the apology. It's empty. Delegate Maryland and Leanti is facing intense scrutiny after allegedly using the N-word during a discussion with a white colleague in Annapolis cigar bar late last month, during which she argued that campaigning in Prince George's County on behalf of another candidate was equivalent to door knocking in a nigger district. Why do y'all, okay, you got to understand why people like this run for office, to make sure the ones that look like her keep getting all of the resources, ladies and gentlemen. But they try to put on airs as if they're there for all the people, and they have no track record of being there for all the people. None of these candidates like her have that track record. They have no track record of being there and making sure all of the groups of people they represent get resources. They only make sure one group of people up in here get all the resources, and the rest of us sit with nothing. Just understand that. She needs to move on, for real. Prince George County, whose population is over 60% African American, is one of the most affluent majority Black counties in the nation, according to U.S. Census Bureau data. Meanwhile, Lisanti district is about 80% white, and she needs to stay over there and stop worrying about other people's districts if that's the only people she's interested in representing. On Monday, she apologized to leaders of the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland after multiple executive committee members confronted her over the accusations and expressed outrage over her alleged use of the slur. The second-term lawmaker appeared contrite and apologized several times during a meeting, according to Black Caucus Chairman Delegate Daryl Barnes. I don't know. How does somebody work with you now, knowing that these are the undertones that you have? However, two lawmakers who are also presented, said Lisanti told her Black colleagues she didn't remember saying the slur. And see, that's another thing. That's another thing. The things that they say is just laughable. I mean, I'm going to analyze this for you and prove it to you. It's just laughable. I understand that I use inappropriate and insensitive language is not acceptable under any circumstances, Lisanti said in a statement announcing she'd be stepping down, which is the right thing for her to do as chair of the Unemployment Insurance Subcommittee on the House Economic Matters Committee. I am sorry for the hurt I have caused and will do anything I can to help heal the pain and regain the trust of my colleagues and constituents. I pray for forgiveness. Listen to this. I am sickened that a word that is not in my vocabulary came in my mouth. Who are you fooling? That is very much in your vocabulary. That's why you said it. Okay? That's very much in your vocabulary. Just like all of that, the newscaster saying Martin Luther King, that is in your damn vocabulary. That's why you said it. We're not stupid. And see, when you do these apologies, then you turn around and insult us as if we don't know what you're saying and you're full of shit. This woman is full of shit, right along with all the other people that have done these public racism out here. And you think you can come back and say, oh, that wasn't me. Yes, it was. We saw you say it. It was you. And we heard the words out of your mouth, and it flowed out of your mouth as if you say it all the time, because you do. It does not represent my belief system. Yes, it does. That's why you said it. Yes, it does. You've been talking that way your entire life. My life's work or what's in my heart. No, those things are there, honey. That's why you said it. The Legislative Black Caucus was unimpressed with Lisanti's inadequate plea and suggests she undergo racial sensitivity training, which she has agreed to. No, you can't train racism out of a person. See, once their parents, because this is where it all comes from, once their parents plant that seed in their brain as babies, there's no getting it out now. She's equivalent to a pedophile that you want to send to training and then expect that they won't molest children anymore. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Because it's in their nature and culture to do those things. So you can't train it out of them. And you can't train what her parents have planted in her decades ago. You're not going to get rid of it. Racism starts in the home. She was groomed and raised to be that way and act out the way that you heard her act out in that conversation. She's one of many, one of millions upon millions upon millions in America. It is clear that Delegate Lisanti is unsuited to continue in a position of leadership in the Maryland General Assembly. The Black Caucus said in a statement, the use of derogatory term exhibits that she does not hold the requisite contrition to be entrusted in a leadership role moving forward. Right. Again, it doesn't matter if they're Democrat, ladies and gentlemen, or Republicans. They are only in these positions to get resources for their people. They are not there to get resources for everyone. And this is for politicians. I don't care what branch of government they're in. They're only there to sit and make sure their people get all of the resources, and we are sitting with nothing. That's their only goal, is to keep resources from the Black community. And they have been pulling this off for centuries. You're not seeing it this way for nothing. See, it's a problem when we call this stuff out. Then all of a sudden we're the problem, but what they're doing is not the problem. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. Until you can show all of the resources that you fought for the Black community and we are all enjoying those resources, I don't want to hear from you, because that's not the case. We are the only community lacking in resources, and you can clearly see why. It's not me, and it's not me you should be upset with. You should be upset with these politicians for going in these positions and carrying out nothing for the Black community. She's been in there for 2 terms. And you see how she feels. She's not going to campaign to a bunch of niggers. And believe me, she ain't the only one that feels that way. She's one of many that are sitting in all of these offices around the country. When questioned by the Post earlier this month about whether she used a slur, Lisanti claimed she didn't recall much of that evening. She's lying. And see, that's another thing. You think you can keep saying this stuff to us and we believe you. Let me just put out here, we never believe you. We never believe you. Maybe no one has ever told you that before, but I'm telling you, we never believe you. We believe what came out of your mouth. When asked if she had ever used a slur in the past, the lawmaker said she was sure that she had. Well, you know what? She's being honest in that, at least that part of it. I'm sure everyone has used it, she told the newspaper. So now she's saying, yes, I've said it in the past, but don't we all say it? No, everybody don't use that word in their everyday life. So to answer you, Lisanti, the answer to that is no. All Black people don't even use that term when we talk to each other. We don't all use that term. Some do, some don't. So when you said, I'm sure everyone used it, no, everyone haven't used it. No. Many of us don't use that in our daily conversation. I've used the F word. Yeah, some people use the F word and some people don't curse at all. But just think, look, just because you use the F word, that doesn't mean the entire nation is walking around using the F word. But they talk as if we're all waking up every day using the same language. No. I've used the Lord's name in vain. Everybody don't do that. You have people of all walks of life. Some believe and some don't. So everybody is not even using what you call a Lord's name in vain. You know what the problem is, ladies and gentlemen? These things are said so often in this country. They're trying to make it acceptable, when it should be the opposite that's done. You should be fighting against using that terminology. You should be fighting against using the F word if that's how you feel. And you should be ceasing of using any name of what you consider your God in vain. You should be fighting against that every day. You shouldn't sit in our faces and act like, well, everybody does this. And she's saying this as if you shouldn't punish me because everybody says this. But here's the problem. Everybody that say these things are not in elective office. You are. You are. Which means now that you chose to put yourself in that position, you have to carry yourself a certain way. And that's what you're missing in your point. Maryland House Speaker Michael E. Bush condemned Lisanti in a statement Monday and said she must face the consequences of her behavior. Barnes agreed, saying it might be time for the lawmaker to reevaluate her ability to lead. She don't need to reevaluate anything. She needs to go. This is not a one-time incident, he told HuffPost. This is a behavioral pattern. Those are her words. She has to take a real close look in the mirror and do a judgment call, which she won't do. Okay, whenever she sits here and says, I'm sure everybody used that. I'm sure everybody say that. She's not, when people make comments like that, they're not going to judge themselves. They're not. And again, the people that use all of those things, your racial slur, the F word, and using the what you call the Lord's name in vain, they're not sitting in political office like you are. The only problem with lawmakers in America, they choose to be in political office. They use the smokescreen that they're representing everybody. But ladies and gentlemen, always look at who's getting all of the resources while these people are in office and who's getting nothing. And that should tell you right there how they're representing people in this country. Period. There's nothing else you need to look at other than who's getting the most resources. All right, and decide whether she should stay in the General Assembly or if she should move on. She needs to move on. She needs to move on. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. And y'all, I got something funny to tell you. Somebody reached out to me recently, and they said Bernie Sanders told them not to talk to me. And I looked up the number of this person. They actually sent me a phone number. And I looked up the number, and it was a Vermont phone number, which is the state Bernie Sanders is from. Now, I'm not saying it's legit or not, but I found it comical that someone from Vermont reached out to me and they made that statement. So it just goes to show you, ladies and gentlemen, they're watching us. But the sad part is they're not taking notes. They don't want to hear from us. They really don't want Black YouTube's opinion. See, when we talk, we are talking from our experience with politicians and what we see them do and what we don't see them do. And see, as long as we're toting the line and just going along, everything is great. But as soon as we start shaking things up, then we are bad people. And you know what? There ain't no damn way we are at the same magnitude of all of you crooked ass politicians. You have proven yourselves to be only for one side. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. You are all playing for the same team. Period. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.